Hello everyone, welcome to the 17th episode of DraftKings, the only podcast that gives you all the top-level limited information you could ever need. I'm Shyler, and with me today, as usual, is Tyler. How are you doing? Today we're going to be talking about the different draft archetypes and Shadows over Innistrad and the key cards that go along with those. Not all of them, but some of the big things. But first, we got to open a pack and see what our first pick would be out of the pack. And this pack this week is a repack sort of thing. Store was selling it on Amazon. I bought it. I bought one of them, and it has 2 rares in it, and then it only has 7 commons and 3 uncommons. So it's only a 12 card pack. But they got some pretty cool cards in them, so yeah, let's just get started. Here are the commons.
Alright, we got Lightning Elemental, 3 in a red for a 4/1 haste. This is really aggressive. It trades up really well.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty great card.
Plus, it's for
Trades up.
four
Really
power
well.
for 4 mana, so could get in for a lot.
But
Because it has haste.
also it gets traded down pretty easily too.
Pretty much anything
Their one
will kill it.
Their 1x could kill it,
Yeah.
which is not great.
Yeah. But if you're in the right deck, though, that would be a good pick.
Yeah, if you're in an aggressive kind of a deck, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Piranha Marsh. When it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, target player loses a life, and it taps for a black.
It's a land. Enters
It's
tapped.
a land. The 1 life isn't too relevant.
Yeah.
Alright, we got Hideous End, 1 and 2 black for an instant. Destroy target non-black creature. Its controller loses 2 life.
I like this one.
It's good removal. It's instant speed removal.
I like the fact that they also lose life off of, and a creature.
Yeah, they're losing. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Grizzly Bears, 1 and a green for a 2/2. It's a bear. It's the bear.
Yep. And if none of you know what set this is from, because it doesn't have a set symbol, it's from 5th edition. I don't know why they didn't have set symbols, but yeah.
Well, they didn't know that long ago.
But I thought they did in 4th edition, didn't they?
Not for some of the sets.
Oh.
Okay, Death Cult Rogue, 1 and 2 Hybrid Dimir. For a 2/2, it can't be blocked except by rogues, so it's essentially unblockable because there aren't many rogues. Especially since, considering we're assuming, I'm guessing we're assuming that we're drafting Cube, because they're all from different sets. So let's assume we're drafting Cube. There probably aren't very many rogues, so he's 3 mana 2/2 unblockable.
Mm-hmm. It's just a 2/2.
He's good.
It's probably going to die pretty quick
worth
after it
the
gets
mana.
through.
It trades easily with the Lightning Elemental.
Yeah.
Okay. Formless Nurturing, 3 and a green for a sorcery. Manifest the top card of your library, then put a 1 counter on it.
Manifest was pretty fun.
Yeah, if you don't know what Manifest is, you put the top card of your library onto the battlefield upside down. It's a 2/2 colorless creature, and you can flip it if it's a creature underneath. You can flip it for its converted mana cost.
So this card basically makes a Manifest token, which is a 2/2 colorless token, turn into a 3/3 colorless.
It's not a token. It's not a token. It's a card that's face down.
Oh yeah, it's not a token. But
yeah, it's not a token.
All intents and purposes, it acts like a token. It doesn't actually
really.
is a token, but
there's way too many differences for it to be considered a token.
Oh.
It's still a creature by every sense of the word. It's nowhere near a token.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But anyways, it still turns it into a 3/3, which for 4 mana.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
4 mana, 3/3 that could potentially be a smaller creature.
Yeah, but then what if you hit like a land or something you really needed? Then you're like, no.
Well, it's your own fault at that point.
Yeah.
And then we got Sandstep Scavenger, 4 and a green for a 2/2. But when it enters the battlefield, it bolsters 2. So, I mean, if this is the lowest guy you got in the battlefield, it's a 4/4 for 5, which is not that bad.
Yeah.
If I mean, otherwise it's still 4 mana, 4 toughness for 5 mana, which is fine. It's definitely playable.
Yeah, and it could maybe go on a 1/1, turn it into 3/3.
I'd play it in any green deck. I'd especially play it in the same deck that I'm playing this Grizzly Bears in.
Yeah. So then would you get the choice of which one got the 2 counters?
Yeah, if 2 things had the same toughness, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You get the choice. But otherwise, it just automatically goes to the one with I think it's the least toughness, right? Yeah, least toughness.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, now let's get to our uncommons.
Okay, we got Tethered Scourge, 2 in black for 2/2 with flying, and whenever Tethered Scourge becomes the target of a spell or ability, you lose 1 life. It's a 3 mana 2/2 flyer, which is really good in limited. And they're probably not going to be like trying to kill your 2/2 flyer very hard, you know.
Yeah.
Especially in cube, because I'm still assuming this is cube.
Yeah, that would be a good idea to assume this is cube.
They probably got bigger stuff.
And we're only drafting with the 12 card packs.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we got Conversion Chamber, 3 mana for an artifact. You can pay 2 and tap it to exile target artifact from a graveyard and put a charge counter on it. You can pay 2 and tap it to remove a charge counter from it and put a 3/3 golem onto the battlefield.
Seems good.
It's a little hard to turn on. You don't get your value out of it for the.
This will be fun in Commander, maybe. Or some sort of construction. I don't know.
I don't see this as playable at all.
I mean, if there's nothing else, then maybe, but...
as a force, yeah. If there's nothing else, literally, I would take it. I'd probably pick the basic land over it. It just takes way too much. It takes too much mana and too much time to turn on for it to be relevant in a limited format.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because think about it, you're already you're wasting your turn 3. You're wasting half your turn 4. And you finally get a little value on turn 5. You waste 3 turns trying to get this thing on.
Yeah, because you got to play it, then you got to exile something, then you
limited,
get it.
That's way too much time to be not doing anything.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just not pick this card. All right, what's the next one?
Okay, we got Humble. It's 1 and a white for an instant. Target creature loses all abilities and is a 0/1 creature until the end of the turn.
Woo!
I really like this. This is good removal.
Reminds me of
great removal.
Turn and Burn from... minus the burn part from... what was it? Dragon's Wave?
I don't know.
Yeah, one of the sets in that block.
But yeah, it's pretty great removal.
Yeah. It just makes something super, super easy to kill, and then you can just kill it easily.
Well, yeah, effectively you play this during the attack after you've already declared blockers.
Yeah.
Or after they've already declared blockers.
Mm-hmm.
And
then you make sure that something big dies. Or something...
Yeah, you make sure the threat dies.
Yeah. Alright, so now we get to our rares. So, rare 1.
Okay, Loaming Shaman, 2 and a green for 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, target player shuffles any number of target cards from any number of target cards. That's cool. From his or her graveyard into his or her library. I'd probably play this in a commander deck. I wouldn't really likely play it in a limited deck.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, except for the fact that it's a 3 mana 3/2, and that's actually a pretty good. It's a pretty solid creature for the mana.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd pick it up. I don't think I'd first pick it.
Yeah. The ability's fun to play with too.
Yeah, but the ability isn't as relevant in limited unless you're getting milled out.
Yeah.
In commander, it's an awesome ability.
Mm-hmm.
Hence being from a commander set.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Hostility, which is 3 and 3 red for a 6/6 with haste. If a spell you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage and put a 3/1 red elemental creature with haste onto the battlefield for each 1 damage prevented this way. When hostility is put into your graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. I love this card.
So if you had a burn spell that does 3, like a lightning bolt, then you get
you would
3
make
3/1s?
3 3/1s with haste.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it turns your burn spells into 3 times
Holy
essentially
crap.
the damage in an attack, which is huge.
Wow.
I love this, and I believe I would first pick that.
This would be your top end.
That would be my first pick.
The only problem is
It's
6 mana.
It's the bomb that the burn deck needs, though.
Yeah.
And in Cube, there's always a decent burn deck.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you built your Cube wrong.
Yeah. I think, the hostility is a good idea for a first pick. Also, that black removal spell's good.
It's more conditional than Humble.
A good option.
Humble's cheaper,
quicker,
less conditional.
I think between Humble or Hostility, but I still think
Humble would be second to
a 6-drop 6/6 with haste that makes even more hasty stuff.
It just makes a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He takes your burn spells and makes them more than they are.
Mm-hmm.
He makes them permanent.
And he can attack along with those hasty elementals.
Exactly.
And then when he dies, he just goes right back into the library.
Exactly what you want for your top end of your red deck in Limited.
Yeah. There was a cycle of these cards, weren't they?
Yeah.
The Purity, Hostility.
Yeah, there was one
stuff
for
like
each
that.
color.
Yeah. Alright, so that's the pack. And we've said our first picks. Our first pick being the same thing, Hostility. So now let's go talk about the
Which ones are we
Archetypes.
going through first?
I think we'll start with the allied
Okay.
pairs. So
Well, we know that the allied pairs are all they're all very like tribal based.
yeah,
Which one are we starting with? Blue white.
blue white.
It's more like blue white is based on spirits.
It's the classic blue white flyers deck sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's
and then it does
they
have
worked in spirits.
Yeah, not too big tribal spirit thing, but at least a little bit.
Well, all the ally combinations in this set are tribal.
Yeah, I mean, compared to other color combinations, it's not the.
Not saying that you cannot play other creature types, but the color combinations themselves are very tribal in this set.
Yeah, but I mean, like this, the spirits compared to the zombies aren't as tribal as the zombies. Like, you know.
Well, they're all pretty equal.
Oh.
Yeah, they're all pretty even.
Yeah. So some of the key cards with this deck are the Dauntless Cathar, which is a 3-drop 3/2, so 2 and a white for 3/2, and it's a human soldier. And then it has an ability for 1 and a white to exile Dauntless Cathar from your graveyard and put a 1/1 spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield, and you can only activate the ability anytime you could cast a sorcery. But the fact that this can die and then you can instantly just make a token out of it is pretty good. Pretty awesome. Another creature that goes along with the spirits is Apothecary Geist, which gains you life when this enters the battlefield if you control another spirit. So 3 life if you just control 1 spirit. So even a token would give you 3 life. And then it's a 2/3 for 4 with flying. Obviously, because it's a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Some other spirits in the set that are pretty key would be the Prowess spirit, Niblis of Dusk, which is obviously the 3-drop 2/1 flying Prowess spirit. And then there is Uninvited Geist, which is the 3 mana for a 2/2 on the first side, and then whenever it has Skulk as well, And then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you transform it, and it flips over into a 3/3 unblockable. And that's basically never gonna be blocked by anything bigger than 2 power. Ever, really. And it's easy to kill with other things besides creatures, but yeah, those are some of the important things in the blue-white flyers type of deck. So let's get on to white-green, which is, would you categorize this as humans? The humans?
Yeah, white-green is humans.
Yeah.
They're all pretty clear.
Yeah. So some of the key cards in this are the Intrepid Provisioner, which is a 4-drop 3/3 trample human scout, and when it enters the battlefield, another target human you control gets +2/+2 until the end of the turn. Really good, really good pump spell with attached to a creature. Some other things like Strength and Arms is also good for humans, and then another human that is key is Veteran Cathar, a 2-drop 2/2 that for 3 and a white you can give a human double strike. That would be pretty fun to play with. What do you think of this color combination? Have you ever drafted it yet? White green humans?
Not yet. It's cool.
Yeah. Now let's get to green red. So green red is kind of like the just big stompy deck, just big creatures and like the deal damage card, the deal damage equal to its power cards. The werewolf cards are also another thing that categorizes this color combination, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Some of the key cards are obviously the werewolves and Rabid Bite also, and what's the other spell that deals damage with werewolves? Moonlight Hunt, which is a 2-drop instant, and you choose a target creature you don't control, and each creature you control, that's a wolf or a werewolf, deals damage equal to its power to that creature. So this is a werewolf deck card, so if you have a lot of werewolves, put this in if you see it coming around. But red-green is basically, I just call it pretty much werewolves, because that's mainly what you'll see in Shadows over Innistrad, at least. And then we get to red-black, which is obviously the Vampire Madness stuff. So things like Incorrigible Youths and Fiery Temper and Air of Falconwrath, Olivia's Bloodsworn, things like that, all help each other to, deal damage, get things out quicker, and especially with the vampires, that really helps. Like Incorrigible Youths, you can discard to Air of Falconwrath, for instance, and then cast it for 3 mana. And Fiery Temper you can cast, instead of casting for 3, it becomes a bolt. And point it anywhere. So that's basically red-black is just,
Vampire Madness.
Yeah, Vampire Madness is trying to get through with vampires and discarding cards to trigger madness and dealing damage with things like Fiery Temper. And then I believe this is the last allied combination, which is blue-black. It's just the zombie color combination, and it's also good with the delirium mechanic. It has things like Crow of Dark Tidings, which puts stuff in your graveyard, could trigger delirium, and then it makes all kinds of different things like zombies and some night tokens and also vampires. It has and then it also has access to blue, so obviously it has counter spells and bounce and things like that. It's not the strongest delirium color combination, but it is pretty good at triggering delirium pretty easily. Alright.
The delirium color combination is more green-black.
Yeah.
The one that focuses delirium.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, if you have
you
Crow
can have
Dark
delirium cards. I'm just saying that the black-green deck is the one that focuses delirium more.
Yeah.
That's the Delirium archetype.
Yeah, I'm just saying like this wouldn't have.
But yes, it does have Delirium things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it wouldn't have too hard a time getting Delirium, but it obviously isn't as easy as green
most color
black
combinations don't in this set. Don't have a hard time.
Alright, so now we're gonna get to the enemy color combinations. So the blue-green deck is up first, which is the clue deck, obviously with which can be incorporated with white as well. You can go green white clues or blue white clues, I guess. And it has stuff like ongoing investigation, graph mold to gain life, Ulvenwald mysteries, so that whenever stuff dies it investigates, and Erdwall Illuminator, which gives you an additional investigate thing and an additional clue. And the clues just draw you cards, and I don't really know the win conditions in these clue decks other than milling or something.
Fleeting memories and like the Ulvenwald mysteries. A lot of people use as a win condition.
Yeah, because it does make tokens.
Yeah, it generates value on its own.
Yeah. So that is blue-green. So now we'll get to green-black, which is the Delirium deck. Like, categorized as Delirium. And it has the easiest time getting Delirium. So, like, Vessel is the obvious card to pick if you have Delirium, because it triggers it almost every single time it mills. And
I wouldn't say it mills.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't mill.
It lets you pick the card, and then you get to put whatever you want into your graveyard, pretty much.
Yeah, you can make Delirium almost all the time with...
You forcibly make Delirium.
The Vessel of Nascency almost gets there every time, but not quite sometimes. But some key cards in the decks are Moldgraph Scavenger, and then other Delirium cards, such as the... Autumnal Gloom. That's a weird name. Which has Delirium at the beginning of your end step. If there are 4 more card types in your graveyard, then you transform it into a 4/4 trample hexproof. Also on the front side, it has pay a black, put the top card of your library into your graveyard, so it also helps itself make Delirium.
Usually this flips within the first turn or two that you play it. Usually it's flipping.
A 4/4 trample hexproof is pretty cool. The art is awesome on this. A giant tree just comes to life. So that is the green-black deck. Just like we said, it was Delirium, and things that go along with that are like Vessel of Nascency and other things that put cards in your graveyard. That crow that I just was talking about. Now we move on to black-white, which I don't know exactly how to categorize this.
Wizards categorize this as tokens. Basically, this archetype is where you can generate the most tokens. That's how they had it.
And it also has some Delirium and stuff, and
every color has Delirium in this set.
Yeah. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Delirium if you haven't already drafted. So now let's get to white-red.
Which is aggressive.
Yeah, just straight, as fast as you can, get the opponent dead with like Uncaged Fury, the Devil's Thorn Fox, and the Voldaren Duelist, which make things not be able to block, and Nahiri's Machinations, which make things indestructible when you go to hit people. So they don't die. So, yeah, like we said, white-red is just deal as much damage as quickly as possible, and hopefully they don't completely just fly over you like what happened in our draft.
Just round 2.
Yeah.
But they flew over. The other rounds we just got massacred.
Yeah. Alright, so now we have this last deck that we're going to talk about is blue-red.
Which is like spells matter. It's basically you play very few creatures in this deck.
The creatures you do play have to deal with instants and sorceries and stuff like that. So, like, the Nibblest of Dusk is a good card for this deck. The Sanguinary Mage, they both have prowess.
This is pretty much the only deck that you want Pyrohound in.
Yeah, Pyrohound is, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, he gets a counter. Literally, like, yeah, the only deck you want it in. And I guess this could be pretty aggressive as well if you built it right.
It takes a little bit longer than the aggressive decks, but yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, just a few instants and sorceries on a Pyre hand.
It's less aggressive because on average it only plays like 5 or 6 creatures. The winning ones anyways.
Yeah.
So they don't really get a ton of damage really early in.
Yeah. All right, so those are all of the different archetypes within Shadows over Innistrad. What would you say your favorite is to draft?
I draft what's open.
Well, what would you say is your favorite so far that you've played?
I draft what's open.
No. You don't have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite because if I have a favorite, it skews your drafting. You can't operate if you have a favorite. You can't operate correctly. Hence you want to take you wanting to take the average green uncommon over the bomb rare. that's favoritism over drafting what's good, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I don't pick favorites. I can't pick favorites. Otherwise I can't draft.
Well, I mean,
you can have a favorite, but you're gonna have a lot harder time drafting a successful deck.
Yeah, you do have a solid point. I guess I do pick favorites. But on that note, I like to draft a lot of control decks, so I mainly... I hardly ever draft aggro decks in Limited because it's just not me. Like last time I drafted, I built the... Did I go blue-green or blue-white?
It was blue something. You picked up Fleeting Memories.
Fleeting Memories, and then a whole bunch of Investigate and started milling with the clues.
Yeah. Which worked.
Yeah. And then the first time, I think, was it the first time when I pulled Startled Awake?
Yeah, you pulled Startled Awake and Fleeting Memories, I believe. And
then did the same thing.
Yeah.
And, well, I kind of incorporated, it was kind of like a mono blue deck, which was weird that it actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably only because of Startled Awake that it ever worked.
Yeah.
Because other than that, it was kind of... I don't know what I'm doing here. I kind of got sidetracked and didn't pick another color until way later. And I'm like, and then I don't have enough of this color. And now I'm stuck with one. But yeah, that's the archetypes and how we feel about the archetypes that we have drafted. That's it for the episode. So thank you all for watching. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at ShyGuy768. You can follow Tyler.
Tyler A. Hill 7918 on Twitter, The Edge 452 on YouTube, and our group channel is Jacked Up Gaming, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacked Up Gaming is a group channel with me, Shiloh, and Mel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the same on Twitter.
Yeah. But until we meet again, may you all draw well, but most of all, have fun.